I used to paint a lot and then I just kind of stopped. It's not like I was ever particularly good at painting, it was just something I enjoyed doing. Of course, I would compare myself to talented artists, but for the most part, I was content in having this be my little hobby. My issue was, I had all these ideas and no real way to execute them. I really liked this idea of this little gumball in his own little room within a gobstopper, but I was so disappointed with the result. I really tried, but it just wasn't what I imagined. I just didn't possess the technical skills I needed to recreate the image I saw so clearly in my head. I was always jealous of those who were able to paint or draw realistically, those who could see a picture and straight away know what colors to use and where the light was coming from, because I was clueless. I would look at a picture, and no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't copy it. A few years ago, my mom decided to take up drawing and painting, and she just happened to be naturally gifted. She hadn't drawn or painted anything since she was a teenager. She never really tried back then either, but of course, her first drawing was better than any of mine. I was and am so happy for her that she was able to find this hobby and become so talented so quickly, but it did remind me of how I was never as technically skilled. She would always tell me that what she found most impressive about my art were these ideas I would come up with, as although she has no problem copying a picture, she really struggles with coming up with something on her own. I guess together we'd be the perfect artist. But painting wasn't something I wanted to pursue in life, therefore, I guess it didn't matter whether I was good or not. Nonetheless, I still wanted to feel as though I was good at something I enjoyed. I would sit down and paint something only to hate it immediately. But every now and then, I would actually paint something I liked. I even tried painting this duck. My mom encouraged me to attempt something more realistic as a challenge to myself and gave me some tips, and I kept trying and trying until it finally started getting somewhere. And then I started painting the reflection, hated it, and gave up. But I was proud of my duck and for finding ways to improve it. It may not be the most realistic duck, but I can confidently say that it is probably my most realistic painting. Now it's somewhere tucked away, like all my other paintings. I don't really know why I stopped. At first, I couldn't really find the time, and then I picked up another hobby. And maybe I felt like I couldn't be bothered to paint something I would throw away or forget about until I found it again. I shot most of this a year ago and decided to paint again as part of it, but once again, I hated what I painted and gave up on attempting to improve it. The thing about crochet is, although you can always improve on your technique, at the end of the day, there is a way of doing things. You follow some kind of pattern. Painting is different. There is no right or wrong way of doing things, at least from my point of view. I really do want to finish this painting, and I'm sure I will eventually, but for now, I just used to paint a lot.